Hey Fab fans worldwide, we have a pack of Dash to open today, which I flung up a little photo on the fan page. If you're not on that, Flesh and Blood fan page on Facebook, nearing 1,200 members now from all over the world. US, Asia, a couple from Europe I believe even, Australia, New Zealand. Get involved if you're not already there. Suspect most of you are, however, so that's pretty awesome. I wanted to put a quick shout out. I really enjoyed watching and listening to a video this morning, which is called, well, the channel now seems to be V11 for 7 Days of Flesh and Blood with Chris Bewley. He is a great presenter, great speaker. Watching that, I felt like I could learn a bit from the way he speaks. So, thank you, Chris. Taking notes. Good stuff. And also just the insight from that Mr. Matt Rogers was very interesting to hear as well. How much passion and time and effort actually goes into card games. So that's what it looks like, eh? Getting near the top there. Open this pack in a minute, but the only other thing that I owe you is a quick rundown perhaps of Ranger. I did say that, so I need to come through on my word. I need to also come clean in the fact that this week's league I have jumped back to my old faithful Warrior. Jammed it with a load of red attack actions from the new set. So things like Ravenous Rabble and, what else? Art of War. Shouldn't tell you too much else actually, to be honest, because I am playing it in the league. But very aggressive Warrior, all the old red attacks, couple of flocks, snatch reds, that sort of stuff, and it's super fun. So I kind of feel a bit, I don't know, unjustified ranting through Ranger now that I've betrayed her so badly. But Azalea, I tried a few different builds, and I plan to spend the next good few weeks continuing to narrow down the card choices, think about the matchups in more detail, see how the meta evolves and what I need to be prepared for. On the whole, I think that she is very, very good. And you can, like most heroes, choose sort of what angle to take. So the two main angles I'll share with you today that I believe that exist with Azalea are, number one is obviously Giant Arrow, which I think, her release notes and people's comments and discussions sort of seem to lean toward, that is what she wants to do, right? So she wants to get out some pump spells, things like Nimbalism Red, maybe Come to the Fight, maybe getting that, Arsenal cards into Arsenal like Foresight and Plunder Run, give extra value coming out of Arsenal, which of course she plays to quite well. So stacking up maybe a couple or even 3 if you're lucky of those, and then getting an arrow in and shooting it for, well, let's guess between 10 and 16 or 17 or something ridiculous. Also potential to give it Dominate, depending how you get the arrow in there, if you do blind Azalea triggers and things like that. So there's Big Arrow. I don't know how the defensive side of it looks. You're probably doing a lot of blocking just from hand like normal blocks. How many defense reactions and things, I'm not fully sure. It feels like, just as a guess, if you were playing lots of pump, you might have hands where you have no arrow, which would be a bit of an off turn. And then also if you had more than a few defense reactions, the same sort of thing, where you might just draw defense reactions and pump spells and no actual attack. And because the bow, Death Dealer, doesn't have any attack points, that's pretty awkward. And I haven't enjoyed when I have had those sort of situations. So you want to keep it down, you want to keep the arrow count up, and you want to have probably some other attacks, which takes me to the second deck. Sort of main idea I think that probably goes well with her is that sort of theory or sort of balancing act of just hit a couple of times, maybe one arrow and one scar for a scar or something like that, and then having something in Arsenal for the next turn, jamming in 9 to 12 defense reactions. So you're just playing a kind of more of a tempo-y game. I guess a lot of people would call it mid-range, where you just shoot you with an arrow, maybe give it Razor Reflex, get through a few damage, and then drop an Enlightened Strike, for example. Draw a card, put it in arsenal, pass turn. Keeps the pressure on with around that sort of 8 to 12 damage a turn. You know, most turns 8 to 12 damage. Keeps them honest, keeps them having a block and not just slamming you back every turn. And then when they hit back with 2 to 3 cards, maybe most of the time, you're getting to defend quite a lot of that effectively. As I say, I'm looking forward to just going through some more study with her and trying more and more things. I think the reload mechanic is actually very unassuming and actually very strong, especially with the 0 cost arrows. So the red arrows that all hit for 4, Searing Shot takes an extra life if it hits them. The Ridge Rider Shot, if it comes in face up to arsenal, you opt 1. And the Endless Arrow, super, very good. If it hits, it comes back to your hand. So that is another way of, you know, very much a lot of little aspects of card advantage. Well, getting extra cards with Ranger and or having extra cards than your average deck for use. So it's pretty exciting. I just really like her. As that Matt Mann said in Chris's first video today, you got to play what you love. And I think to a huge extent, that's very true. And even when you lose with a hero you love playing with, that probably, you know, feels about as good as winning with a deck that you're like, I wish I didn't have to play this deck. It's real hard, or I just really don't like the mechanics. So, yeah, got to get that satisfaction out of those decks. But we will explore more into the future. This is my first real effort and time on camera. I have no editing skills or whatever as well, so that'll all be part of this journey that I put in my initial channel caption. You know, come on a journey with me through Flesh and Blood World. We'll cover everything, and I will along the way make the videos better, more interesting, maybe some fancy little pictures here and there. I do want to keep it quite real and, you know, sort of in line with that flesh and blood in the Flesh and Blood. But, you know, we're all learning every day, carrying on, and yeah, moving forward. So on that note, I will stop ranting and open this up. I do have to promote the fact that we've opened maybe 11 or 12 packs, so half a box essentially. I've only had 2 supers still, and no like standout foils, you know, above rare, I don't think. So should be some good packs over the next week. So stay tuned, make sure you pop back for those. Got a Vigorosh Blue. I like this card, Nimblism. Buff your next attack and then play this. If you've played a non-attack action, it gets go again. The red one hits for 4. Foresight, what we were just talking about there in Ranger potentially. So it's 1 to hit for an extra 3 on your next attack in red. And if it comes out of Arsenal, you opt 2 when you play it. So it's pretty decent. Push the Point Red, I didn't speak about before. That's one of the other red generic attacks in Arcane Rising, of course, because that's the booster pack we've opened. 1 for 4, and if the last attack of yours hit, it deals another +2, so it hits for 6. Pretty strong. Rifting Blue. Could go in a range of decks. Nullroom Boots is our equipment. Zipper Hit Red is very decent. Hits for 5 and it can boost for go again off 1 resource, pay 1 resource. Hamstring Shot, nice way to slow down opponent's next attack. Overlook, back to the bottom. Reverberate, good wizard card. Plays the next one out of hand as an instant. Amplify Arknight, this card's strong, just bashing you for 6 and costing 0 often. Zap, yellow, free damage for wizard. Read the Runes, red, very good card. And we have a Death Dealer, obviously a great weapon, and a Rune Chant token. So good times. And our rares for the day are Life for a Life yellow. It's kind of interesting. It's like a 1-cost Scar for a Scar, and if it hits, you gain a life. So just keeps on a bit of pressure, gives you more generic attack options. Silver the Tip. This is maybe something in Ranger that I didn't mention before and rant on about, just to save you some time. But yeah, tell me what you think about this card. I think I played 1 or 2 in my first iteration. It's definitely not bad. I think the different colors, red, yellow, blue, dig through a certain number. So red is pay 1. If you have no cards in your arsenal, look at the top 4 of your deck. You may put an arrow from among them face up into your arsenal and the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order, right? So it reloads your arsenal with an arrow, and it has go again. It's a rare, so in most cases you'd imagine or sort of assume that rares mean they're a bit better. Yeah, it's probably pretty good. I don't know. Blocks for 2 though. You don't want to really go below red. Like when I put in a couple, I put in the yellow because I figured that it's the kind of card you don't want to play it every time you draw it. And so then you're going to be pitching if you're not, or blocking, but it blocks for 2. So you're pitching as well. You have to think of, those 3 uses, I guess. Am I going to play it every time? And if not, when? If I'm not playing it, am I going to block with it or am I going to pitch with it? And just how does it look for all 3 of those things in your deck? Like, does it play well? Does it pitch well? Does it block well? So, yeah, I played the yellow, and there was actually 1 or 2 times out of maybe 5 or 6. So just, I don't know if it was bad luck or, true of the odds, but probably was roughly actually. But yellow digs for 3. So I missed. I didn't get an arrow, and I just paid 1 resource to do nothing. And I think the deck was running at about 24 arrows perhaps, and I was playing about 70 cards. So, you can, whilst it's about 1 and 3, on 3 you can miss. On 4, I think you almost can't miss, unless it's like end of the game and you've shot all your arrows and the rest of your deck's just pitch stuff and lightning strike or whatever. But yeah, just got to remember what's in your deck, etc. And last card for the day. We're nearly at 12 minutes. It's a long video. Thanks for watching, staying tuned through the whole thing. Hopefully some of this ranting and discussion, one-way discussion, is helpful for some of you. And yeah, let me know if it is, because if it's really not, and I'm just sort of regurgitating what we're all thinking and know already, then I will just make these videos much shorter and sweeter, and just open a quick pack, maybe show you a quick deck list, and yeah, it's a journey, as I said earlier, and I need you to be a part of it, so let me know. Pedal to the metal in red, brilliant. Foil card for the day. If it hits, next spell gets dominate. Strong. Last but not least, we're Wednesday, Saturday, in 3 days' time we have the first Road to Nationals, and it is online. Thank you to LSS, and we would love to see you there. So find the details on metricsdaily.com or on the front page of adeptevents.co.nz. Have a wicked day. Thanks for tuning in. To all my fabulous fans out there, love, peace, love, peace, love. Oh, and a load of respect. Thank you. Keep enjoying the game. See you tomorrow.